It's Tuesday, the 6th of June, the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion in Normandy. And today I want to replay a very special video I recorded in 2015 at the Reno National Championship Air Races. I was starting to do a video on a very historically accurately restored North American P-51B model Mustang. As I was going over the airplane, I noticed this veteran in a wheelchair, looked to be about World War II vintage veteran, and I just got the courage to just go up and start talking to him, and boy did we talk. I met for the first time ever Vernon Bothwell of Indiana, P-51 pilot. We had a great conversation, a great interview. Vern has since passed away about a year ago. Enjoy. You've seen lots of P-51s, but you got to see this one, a P-51B model, an Oshkosh award-winning, most authentic P-51. We'll show you around a little bit and see why this one is such an amazing aircraft. First, look at these wheels. That's original. See the zinc chromate? And all the stenciling is 100% accurate. Here's the V12 with exhaust plugs put in there. Yeah, this is the Rolls-Royce 1640 Merlin engine, liquid-cooled V12. There's the oil tank right there. No, that's not a bomb. That's a fuel tank, auxiliary fuel tank, 75 gallons. Now these are FAA required stenciling here, but this is correct stenciling. The B model Mustang had two 50 caliber machine guns mounted in each wing. The later model, the D model Mustangs, had three 50 caliber guns. Now let me show you something unique about these guns. Now this is something you just don't see anymore. The 50 caliber ammo lined up in the wing with the feeding tubes into the machine guns. Now on the B model, they laid these machine guns down at an angle to fit better in the wing. In the later model Mustangs, they took the 50 cals and mounted them upright, three of them, and the difference was this particular model with the guns laid down tended to jam more frequently than the later model Mustangs with the guns upright. I think I got that right. I might have that backwards, but I think that's one of them jammed more than the other, and I think it was this configuration that lended itself to jamming more. Now this is how you tell a B model Mustang from a D model. It's got this turtleback fuselage configuration instead of a bubble canopy. That's how you can tell the early model Mustangs. Very, very rare. Here's your flap indicators right here. Just look out the cockpit and see how many degrees of flaps you got down. What goes up in there, Pete?
Wheels?
That's right. Yeah.
Does this one look flat?
Yeah, see? See the wheels? They tuck right up in there. Don't touch. Yeah, they run just like that. Here's your 40-gallon fuselage tank here, and of course they had the wing tanks. And look at this, an original data case, and there's your oxygen cylinders for breathing. In pristine condition.
Oh, you go, oh, you stop and buy.
Yeah, well, we got to pick up the stuff.
There's the stock gun sight and the rear view mirrors and all the instrumentation of a stock P-51. Seat and parachute. You know a thing or two about this old airplane?
I've got 376 hours in them.
In a P-51?
Yeah.
Which models?
The B, C, and D.
Really?
Yeah, I was an instructor at Bartow, Florida.
Really?
Yeah, in 44 and 45.
Wow.
Yeah. We flew every day except we had a half day off Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we had all day of Sunday off.
And
Every day we flew then after that.
And did you do combat first and then come back as an instructor?
I did combat in a Martin B-26 in the Mediterranean theater. Flew out of Africa and Sardinia.
And then you came back and instructed in the Mustang.
And got into fighters and flew them from October 44 to October 45.
And you were instructing during that period?
The last 6 months.
Last 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I came back in 44, they had more pilots than I knew what to do with.
Okay.
And they were disbanding the Wasp at that time too.
Okay, yeah.
And I was a twin engine pilot.
Right.
And I got to fly some of the Wasps back to their final destination.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh? And they just sent the poor Wasps home with very little recognition at all. Now, can you tell me about the guns on this one? This got the two 50 caliber guns on the B model.
Yeah.
And which
They're
one?
50s.
Go ahead.
They're 50s.
And these are laid down at an angle, but the D models, they stood them upright. Do you remember which one jammed more, or did you have problems?
The D model, there was 6, and 3 on each.
Three on each side, right?
Yeah. The B just had the 2 on each side.
Just the 2.
Yeah.
Did one design tend to jam more than the other that you recall, or?
Really, we didn't have that problem. By the time I got in there, they had all that stuff solved.
Worked out.
Yeah,
All right.
they had that worked out.
Uh-huh.
You know, when we entered World War II, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yep.
You know, and we had to solve our problems as we went along.
Yep.
And on the B-26, they called it the Widowmaker
Yeah.
because we had so many accidents.
One a day in Tampa Bay, wasn't that the old?
One day in Tampa Bay, the Widowmaker, the flying prostitute. No,
Yeah. No visible means of support. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was a real high performance aircraft, and you were putting young guys in there with very little experience.
Some of them had none at all. We didn't. I didn't when I went over. We flew our own airplane over.
Uh-huh.
Well, we went to Omaha, Nebraska, and picked up a new Martin B-26-B10.
Okay.
Which was a longer wing version.
Okay.
That was the first longer wing come out on that.
Uh-huh.
But it cut the top speed about 35 miles. It got the top speed on it was 285.
A little less.
The short wing version was about 325.
Mm-hmm.
And when I joined the combat outfit, I was in the 17th Bomb Group, which was where Doolittle got all his Tokyo Raiders out of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The pilots and the airplanes, or the pilots mostly?
The pilots, yeah, all the pilots were out of the 17th.
Ah.
They were older guys.
Yeah.
I've got, see that right there?
Oh, yeah. Who's that?
That's Cole.
Yeah.
Was Doolittle's co-pilot.
Oh.
And he's still alive.
Wow.
I think he may be out here. They
Really?
made an announcement the day before yesterday that it was his 100th birthday.
Oh, and he's out here today,
Yeah.
huh? Not too many of you guys left around.
I got his signature off of him 2 years ago at Oshkosh.
Oh, good. All right.
And went to see Bob Hoover yesterday, but Bob's in bad shape.
Oh, he's in bad shape now? That's too bad.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't think Bob even wanted to be here.
Oh, boy. Huh.
But,
Huh. Well, you're in good shape.
well, I'd be in better shape, but 2 years ago, I had an engine out
Uh-oh.
and picked a field, and grass was about that tall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just 2 years ago? What kind of plane was that in?
I had a Woody Pusher.
Oh,
Just like an
yeah.
old Curtis.
Yeah.
Had an eagle head on it.
Did you flip that pusher over in the grass?
Yeah, I flipped that pusher over the grass. Obliterated my eagle head.
Yeah.
Kind of messed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I screwed up my right Well, I broke my right heel
Yeah.
and some more bones in that one.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on this thing.
Oh, man.
93.
Wow, that's awesome.
And when you were doing the B-26 in combat, was it primarily bombing, or did you get involved in some strafing and that sort of thing?
Bombing.
Just bombing.
They had already, when I got there, they had learned their lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
They tried that crap, you know, skip bombing,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And 2 weeks before I joined the outfit, they had tried. They put 3 down doing the skip bombing on a road bridge going
Yeah.
into Tunis.
Yeah.
When they got at this bridge, here sat some tanks
Yeah.
sitting on the bridge, and they were flying right into the 88s on them tanks.
Oh, boy.
Wiped
All 3 of them out. So they were coming in at very low level. Yep, right at them.
But they had 3 up at 6,000.
Yep.
Them boys got the bridge.
They got it, huh? Uh-huh.
But by the time, when my first mission, by that time they was going up 10,500 feet.
Yeah.
What we'd do, we'd take off, leader go out, and then we'd join in with them, cut them off and join in.
Yep.
And we'd go to our target at 180 mile an hour,
Mm-hmm.
climbing 500 feet a minute,
Okay.
getting up to 10,000 feet, leveling off, going 180 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the IP, open your bomb bay doors,
Yep.
make your run, drop your bombs, then you close the bomb bay door and
Yep.
you went down. We'd pick up to about 245, 250 getting out of the flat.
And would you get out of flak? So would you get out of that altitude and descend to lower altitude after the bomb drop?
We usually did send it down to about 6,000 feet.
And got out of it.
Back to the home then at 6,000.
And so on the bombing run, you're in a formation, it's a
We
pretty
had
tight formation.
A tight formation. You had to fly a tight formation. If you didn't, the fighters come in on you.
Yeah, yeah. And were you using Norden bomb sights in the B-26, do you remember? Or?
Yeah, but here you are.
Yeah.
The lead bombardier was the only one that had the sight.
It's only one, yeah.
The rest of them toggled off of
Off of him, yeah.
You really didn't need a bombardier. All you needed was somebody to just toggle.
Toggle along behind the lead. Now, did the other aircraft have Norden bomb sights on
They
board?
had- each element leader had one. in
Each
case
element
they
lead.
failed.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And how?
Normally they didn't use them unless, you know, the lead failed.
And how many aircraft in an element?
You had 3 in an element, but sometimes 4. It depends on if you flew a box of a deal, or you'd have the 4th man.
Okay.
Usually we either had 12, 24, and the maximum was 36 aircraft
Okay.
for each squadron.
Uh-huh.
And we had 3 squadrons in the group.
And how many missions? How many missions before you got to be done with the combat?
All right, I flew 40.
40.
Yeah.
What was the min requirement? Do you remember? Or was there?
You had to fly 40.
40. 40 was a requirement.
Yeah,
All right.
at that time.
Uh-huh.
The last day that I flew 40 missions, they raised it to 60.
See?
See, Doolittle was commander of the 12th Air Force at that time.
Okay.
And he would come over and fly his own reconnaissance.
Uh-huh.
He'd come over and pick a short wing version, which he could get about 325, 330 mile an hour on the deck.
Yeah.
And he'd fly his whole thing.
Yeah.
And if he had some bombs on, well, he'd skip them.
Oh, yeah? And so skip bombing was a matter of getting down on the water and trying to skip them off the water at low altitude?
No, he'd skip bomb an airport.
Oh, really? And roll them down the runway?
Roll them down the Vetmans, trying them and into the hangars.
What kind of altitude would you release for a good skip bomb?
Probably about 50 feet.
Oh, right on the deck, huh?
He was as far as I'm concerned, the super pilot
Really?
of that time in our
And of course, he came from a real air race background history,
Oh, yeah.
and only the air racers had the technology, kind of knew what was going into World War II, and the rest of the military way behind, huh?
yeah. Now, I remember he wrote a book. He cracked up a P-26. I don't know if you know what the
Pea shooter?
the pea shooter.
Yeah, Boeing pea shooter. Yeah.
And they asked him what the problem was, and he said, well, lack of experience.
Oh, really? Right? Yeah, he knew. He knew right away.
He got it too slow.
Yeah, yeah,
Sold it out.
yeah.
So, yeah. No, he was a great individual.
Yeah.
This outfit, when I joined it, and in June
Mm-hmm.
of 43, my commanding officer of the 17th was Greening, who was Tokyo Raider,
Yeah.
and
What was his last name? Green?
Greening,
Greening?
Ross Greening.
Ross Greening? Okay.
There's a book that he wrote
Uh-huh.
out of the Washington State that they called it not as brief.
Not as brief?
Yeah, because
Never,
yeah,
nothing ever.
Nothing when we were briefed anyway. It didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
We took what come along.
Yeah, yeah, and you had to make it up as you figured it out. Wow. And your name?
Vernon Bothwell.
Vernon Bothwell?
Bothwell.
Bothwell?
B-O-T-H-W-E-L. Bothwell.
Both well. Both well. Excellent. Well, thanks so much for all the great information here today.
Yeah.
And for coming out too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to hit all of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Well, that was a great little interview. We'll put it up there on YouTube and
Is
look
that
for
what
it.
you're going to do with that?
Yeah, yeah, if that's all right with you. Yeah.
That's just fine with me.
Okay, great. Yeah, yeah. All
At
right.
Oshkosh this year, they started the interview, and me and this guy said, well, how many airplanes did you fly? And I said, well, I started out with a 19, PT-19.
Yep.
And went to the BT-13.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the AT-9 and AT-17.
Yeah.
He cut me off.
Wow, geez, you didn't even get started.
Yeah,
That's just barely through training.
You know, he didn't let me get to the blood and guts there.
Yeah, yeah. Which one? So, what are the rest of them? You got the B-26, and then what all else?
B-26 and the P-51.
And the P. Yeah, yeah,
And yeah,
Hours.
yeah.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
I flew combat in the Mediterranean theater.
Right.
That was the best theater to fly in. If you got to go to war in the Mediterranean.
That was pretty okay duty, huh?
Yeah, the weather was beautiful all the time.
Good weather for daylight bombing. Ah.
I don't know
Great.
if it works that way anymore. They
Yeah.
never pick a spot like that.
Real genuine World War II vet here at the P-51B. What a great story. What a great chance to talk to these guys. It's so rare to find them these days.
the foothills of the Sierra Nevada, a new hero will emerge. One who is ready. One who makes sure their friends and family are set. And has the power to go at a moment's notice. This fire season, you're the hero. We are Ready, Nevada County.
Massive wildfire exploded early Thursday morning, burning nearly 25,000 acres.
The fire has forced new evacuations this morning.
The fire moved up a ridgeline and then caught the Santa Ana winds perfectly.
In the summer of 2008, nearly 2,000 lightning-sparked wildfires scorched over 1 million acres across California, destroying hundreds of structures and impacting the lives in the surrounding communities forever.
I never thought it was going to happen to me. You know, you always figure it's the other guy that's going to get their house burned.
And with California's Mediterranean climate, another fire siege of that magnitude is just a matter of time. I'm CAL FIRE's Daniel Berlant. Devastating wildfires occur every year across the state, putting lives, property, and the state's natural resources at a constant threat. In California, wildfires aren't a question of if, but only a question of when. If you choose to live near a natural area of the state, you are at risk for wildfires, and it's your responsibility to prepare yourself, your family, and your home. And that preparation starts with 3 simple steps. Ready, set, go. Getting ready before a wildfire happens is a vital first step in protecting yourself and your property. Beginning in the spring months, well before the peak of fire season, you should carefully assess your property and start taking steps to prepare for the hotter months to come.
As firefighters are responding to fires throughout California, one of the most important things they can look for is defensible space.
Defensible space is the required 100 feet between your property and the surrounding wildland area. Defensible space has consistently been shown to be the best, most practical first line of defense for your home against wildfires. Adequate defensible space provides a barrier to slow, or in some cases even halt, the progress of fire that would otherwise engulf your property. It also helps ensure the safety of firefighters while they defend your home.
I'm going to have to go to homes that provide some type of clearance for my firefighters. I cannot go to a home that has brush and everything growing right up to it. I've got to pick a home where I can safely make a stand, and if we get stuck there, that we can survive it as well.
When the destructive lightning siege fires burned throughout California in 2008, defensible space once again proved to be a key element around the homes that survived, while many homes without adequate clearance were not as fortunate. But defensible space isn't the only factor in protecting your property. Another critical step is hardening your home. During a wildfire, loose flying embers can find weak points on the outside of your home. Hardening your home means reinforcing these vulnerabilities. CAL FIRE Battalion Chief Nick Schuler demonstrates some of the components of a well-defended home.
As you see here, they have an excellent green belt around their home. All of their trees are limbed up, so there's no dead and dying vegetation around their home. And as you can see, as we walk along, all the leaf litter's been picked up, and we move straight into the fire-resistant construction. They have the stucco siding, they have the enclosed eaves, and the composite roof, all proactive steps that this homeowner's taken to reduce fire potential.
Now that you have your home ready for a wildfire, it's time to get set by preparing your most valuable assets, your life and the lives of your family. You should start by creating a wildfire action plan. A wildfire action plan gives you and your family a chance to plan out and write down important information and special preparations that you'll need to take as a wildfire approaches.
As part of your wildfire action plan, you want to sit down with your family and talk about things like escape routes, what roads are you going to take when you leave the house, and the other thing is where are you going to go. You want to have a meeting location.
Your family's plan will be unique depending on your circumstances, so it's vital that you practice and update it regularly to keep everybody prepared. It's also important to plan which belongings in your house you'll need to take with you in case of evacuation if you have time.
prepare what you're going to take with you when you leave. There's nothing worse than packing up to leave and you realize you didn't take anything that you really wanted to. You took stuff that just was the first thing you saw.
Wildfires can move quickly and can change direction into a surrounding community without warning. With the assurance that your home is now well defended and your family's wildfire action plan in place, when a wildfire approaches, you're now ready to go. During a wildfire, emergency personnel may not be able to warn everybody, so it's up to you to take the initiative to stay informed by listening to the TV or radio for announcements. If an evacuation is imminent, it's time to set your wildfire action plan into motion. Don't wait to be ordered to leave your residence, just go, and go early. By leaving early, you give your family the best chance of surviving a wildfire.
Follow the directions of fire and law enforcement, and if you feel threatened, you need to go ahead and get out of that home. We have a lot of systems in place to notify you of that, but you have to be willing to get out and get out early.
Although wildfires can be unpredictable, destructive, and deadly, they're an undeniable part of California's wildland. Wildfire is coming, and it's the steps you take now that will ensure you, your family, and your home have a fighting chance when it happens. For more information on how to prepare for wildfires and for a wildfire action plan checklist, visit readyforwildfire.org.
This is a story of gumption, perseverance, and damn luck. It starts with this man.
Charles Litton was Einstein brilliant.
He was a genius, made countless contributions to the high technology of his time, vacuum tubes. In 1953, he moved from a young Silicon Valley to Grass Valley, California.
I think that's what happens, right? A lot of us, we found a way to get to Nevada City, Grass Valley, or we found it for the first time, and we don't want to leave.
Soon after, he talked his friend Dr. Donald Hare into starting his engineering business in the same mountain town.
Doc Hare, Grass Valley, I believe came to Grass Valley almost as much for the area as everybody else, but he knew Litton.
Doc Hare and a small cadre of incredibly talented engineers quickly made their mark on a new technology that was captivating the world: television.
Grass Valley knew how to do things with a transistor that previously took a tube.
What came next is decades of innovation, ultimately leading to dozens of spin-offs and related technology companies who themselves made countless world-changing contributions.
How they got to television is this circuitous path of technology that I don't think anyone would ever predict.
The fact that any of this happened at all is technically improbable.